To Summer Reed. We'll have those details coming up. But first, another look at our forecast. For today, partly cloudy skies with a chance of thunder showers, temperatures in the low 80s. Overnight tonight, mostly clear with temperatures in the upper 50s. And for tomorrow, partly cloudy with a few thunderstorms possible, highs around 80. We'll be right back.
In the ICU, I've seen patients being bankrupted by the cost of care, and they're having to travel 3 and 4 hours to receive that care. This didn't just happen. Susan Collins voted to support Donald Trump on the largest Medicaid cut in history. Healthcare is getting even more expensive. People are losing coverage. Labor and delivery centers are closing. Hospitals are closing. We need to tell Susan Collins to stop siding with Donald Trump. We can't afford it.
Why should your new floor come from Carpet One? Because we're passionate about the spaces our neighbors call home. We're part of your community, and we're also part of the world's largest cooperative of independently owned and operated flooring stores. So you can be sure you'll get great selection and outstanding value with every installation. Whether it's carpet, hardwood, tile, or luxury vinyl, our experts take the guesswork out of choosing the right floor. We're your local Carpet One Floor and Home, the one store for your perfect floor.
All across America.
Good morning. Hello.
Wherever we are,
welcome home.
It feels like home.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
Man, it's good to be home.
GMA, it's an invitation to come together.
Hey, George, how are you? Good morning.
And brighten your morning.
Mainers and tourists alike are soaking up summertime along the Maine coast, and what's a better way to enjoy this time of year than with a good beach read? Our Jody Hersey sat down with the local author Ellen Baker, whose latest release, Summerland Cove, captures 3 generations at their summertime cottage with a mystery on their hands.
Families do have secrets, and everybody has secrets, and everybody keeps things from people.
Lincoln County resident and Maine author Ellen Baker highlights the love, complexities, and secrets within families in her latest work of fiction called Summerland Cove.
It's a story about a family at their summer cottage and about what happens when they have the summer of a lifetime planned only to have everything go wrong.
Baker's novel follows 3 generations that reunite at the family cottage in Maine year after year.
So I have 25-year-old Haley who's about to get married. I have 48-year-old Lindy who's planning her husband's birthday party and all the events. And then 81-year-old Greta who is dealing with some difficult situations as she's aging and her husband is aging.
Baker said local readers will recognize several popular Maine locations within the story.
King Eider's Pub is in the book, Gelato Fiasco is in the book, Moody's Diner is in the book, so Mainers will definitely recognize some familiar and wonderful spots.
Summerland Cove is Baker's 4th novel and is available online and at several local bookstores. In Augusta, I'm Jody Hersey for ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
And staying on that same topic, it's summertime, a great time to pursue outdoor challenges. One couple is doing this to broaden their own perspectives on the world. The Rouses are walking 12,000 miles across all 50 states. They say they're doing this in large sections. For the last stretch, they did the entire western seaboard from the Canadian border to the Mexican border. And this last stretch was slightly smaller as they are just walking across Maine. They say they are doing this to show themselves and show others that life is perspective.
We want to share just how malleable our perspectives are, and if we lean into that reality, just how much we can accomplish. The walk, of course, subjects you to all sorts of obstacles, the elements, the uncertainty of life on the road. You don't always know where you're going to sleep at night. You've got to figure out how to interact with all different kinds of people.
Just very interested in learning. We try to absorb as much as we can from as many places as we can.
Well, you can see that motto manifested on the back of their shirts, that red quote, "Change the inside, change the outside." He says if you work on yourself and become the best version of yourself, you can influence the world around you in a positive way. And by the way, they are funded by donations, so if you'd like to pitch in, you can head to their Facebook page, Walking America Couple. congratulations to them, and we wish you the best of luck. The time now is 6:18. After the break, rescue efforts are ongoing in Colombia after a 7.4 magnitude earthquake hit. We'll bring you the latest coming up. Plus, members of Down East Horizons gathered in Hancock to take a ride on the Down East Scenic Railroad. Those stories and more straight ahead on Good Morning Maine.
Family Feud asks, what were they thinking?
You're at an open casket funeral. You notice the deceased pants were unzipped. What you gonna do? Unzip pants. Funeral.
I would write a note.
You want him to read it?
Thinking about fun? Watch Family Feud.
Weekdays at 9 on ABC 7.
This is it, the moment of truth. They're about to go for $1 million.
That's going to be on the trailer.
Wednesday.
Can we get money for getting up into the stools?
Millionaire is all about the stars.
Can we go right to the million?
We cannot. You should know that, Batman.
The laughs.
Will you just give us $1 million?
And the Benjamins.
Is that your final answer?
I'm pretty confident. I mean, I'm getting less confident.
Jimmy Kimmel hosts the Emmy-winning Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. Wednesday on ABC. Next day on Hulu.
I never get the flu.
My kids don't need more shots.
I don't have time.
We're all healthy.
No matter how you build your excuses, the flu can blow your house down.
I can't believe I used up all my sick time.
I missed a week of school during finals.
Now my baby has it because of me.
The hospital?
Keep your foundation strong. Vaccinate.
The staff of Down East Horizons offered a scenic train ride for children and adults with developmental disabilities. Our Sam Miller hopped on board and reports to us from the branch line.
Down East Horizons is providing service to people with disabilities and developmental issues since 1974. And on Monday, they took to the rails to help them create a memory that will last a lifetime. Nearly 140 children and adults with Down East Horizons gathered at Washington Junction in Hancock to take a ride aboard the Down East Scenic Railroad. The group chugged from Hancock to Ellsworth Falls and across the Union River Bridge along the Maine Central Railroad. The ride gives participants the opportunity to experience a part of railroad history in Maine while enjoying their time together. Executive Director of Down East Horizons, Anthony Zambrano, described how grateful he is to be able to give the participants an unforgettable memory.
It's a nice, brief, wonderful, relaxing train ride. And a train is something that, not a lot of people get to do. I'm just so blessed to be able to lead a company that affords these individuals to come visit us the opportunities to do this.
After the train turned around and coupled onto the back cars, the group made their way back.
It makes me feel great seeing everyone just happy and feeling included in the community.
Just the sound of the train and the blowing of the whistle and just the moving of the train. I love trains.
As the train came to a stop and everyone piled off, they were already excited to climb aboard next year. In Hancock's Sam Miller, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
Well, the time now is 6:22. Let's get a full look at our forecast. Meteorologist Chase Ropanek is in with the latest.
Thank you very much. Your main weather this morning is also brought to you by Tick and Mosquito Guard. We stopped ticks and mosquitoes, now serving Washington, Hancock, and Penobscot counties. We are pet safe and have eco-friendly options available. Call today for a free quote at 207-263-3421. All right, temperatures hanging out in the low to mid 60s this morning after a cold front passed through overnight. We still have a chance for a few more storms to get through for today. That's mainly in the northern tier of the states where your lows are in the low 60s in our Presque Isle and Holton. A lot of us hanging out in those low to mid 60s this morning. So as we get into today, temperatures will be right back near average. Average high 80 degrees, looking at 81 for today. Same for Wednesday and the Thursday, hanging out just near average. We'll have a bit of a cooler day Friday, mid 70s then, thanks to showers and thunderstorms. But it looks like we'll be right back near average into the the weekend, a bit cooler into the beginning of the work week as well on Monday. So winds out there for today. Now that cold front has passed, we'll see winds gusting near 20 to 25 miles per hour out there this afternoon. Winds will lighten up a bit for tonight and stay pretty light into your Wednesday. There is a chance for a little bit more low pressure in the area. There'll definitely be low pressure passing to our south. We can see a few more storms possible, bringing some breezy conditions into Wednesday afternoon as well. But for today, the chance for storms staying in the northern tier of the state near the Millinocket region, the Presque Isle, over near Clayton Lake as well. Again, those are isolated showers and thunderstorms. No big issue, though. They may chase you inside for about 10 to 20 minutes, but otherwise you'll be just fine. Plenty of sunshine for the rest of us for today. Clear skies tonight, but here we are for tomorrow. This is just one model run that shows this. There's plenty of others that can show that tomorrow could be a little bit more dry, but again, low pressure will be passing to the south. This will be a boundary in the area for tomorrow that can bring that chance for showers and thunderstorms, but also the storms may not fire also. So keep that in mind. We'll keep an eye on this for your Wednesday. There can be a few more storms possibly that continue into your Wednesday night, but otherwise, well, better chances for showers and thunderstorms Thursday and the Friday as that low pressure gets a bit closer. So for today, the only chance for a few storms are going to be staying to the north. Partly cloudy otherwise, highs in the low 80s. Winds a little bit breezy out there from the northwest, but clear skies tonight. Winds will lighten up. Lows will be back in the mid to upper 50s after a few nights in the 60s. So for tomorrow, the highs will be right back near average, near 80. We will have that chance for a few thunderstorms possible. Will they fire off that boundary? We'll have to keep an eye on that. It's otherwise partly cloudy with winds. Still a little breezy from the west, gusting near 25 miles per hour. So taking a look at your extended forecast, we do have slight chances for showers and thunderstorms today, mainly to the north, and that does exist for tomorrow as well, but better chances Thursday and the Friday as that low pressure gets closer. Highs near 80 Friday. They take a dip, near 80 Thursday. They take a dip Friday into the mid 70s. And here comes that high pressure Saturday. Plenty of sunshine, highs back near 80 degrees.
This gonna be crazy. Everybody see, yeah. Hear that?
That's money.
I love the sound of this game. Everybody see, yeah. Hear that?
That's money.
I love the sound of this game.
Celebrity Family Feud, Thursday on ABC.
You build more than projects. You build what communities rely on. When the job site runs on results, put Kubota to work. Backed by expert service and support from your local Kubota dealer. Right now, bring home select Kubota KX Series with 0% financing available or save up to $7,000.
Available at Doors Equipment, 1468 Outer Hammond Street, Bangor.
Disturbing news about threats of violence against women. Is it Graham Plattner again? No, it's Troy Jackson. When a female legislator disagreed with Jackson, he threw a water bottle at her in anger. The woman was deeply frightened. Jackson was known for bullying, and his screaming felt like intentional intimidation. His brash conduct with women raised alarm bells about his temperament. Troy Jackson, another phony we can't trust. Pine Tree Results Pack is responsible for the content of this advertising.
When you combine a fast-paced word game,
4 of them make $1.
Hoarders, hosted by Leah Remini.
What is swing?
Did you just say what is?
Yes.
You just realized you're not on Jeopardy. Okay.
You've got a recipe for fun.
I got a few dances, Leah. I like to do this guy here. At weddings, I kill it.
You do not kill nothing with that.
People puzzling.
Weekdays at 10 on ABC7.
You took your SUV to the defendant's repair shop?
She said just fix whatever the money can fix.
He did predict the front is going to collapse, and that is literally what happened.
Hot Bench.
Hot Bench, Tuesday at 3 on ABC7.
You're watching ABC7 Bangor.
Welcome back, everyone. Well, President Trump and Health Secretary RFK Jr. are moving to upend the vaccine schedule for kids across the country. Medical experts are blasting the new executive order, saying it could put kids at danger, and the plans are likely to face legal challenges as well. ABC's Karen Watt is in Washington with the details.
This morning, parents have conflicting guidance on which vaccines to give their children. In a new executive order, President Trump now recommends children get shots for 11 diseases, down from 18 as recommended by the CDC. The plan also includes splitting measles, mumps, and rubella into 3 separate shots instead of 1. Vaccine maker Merck warns this increases the number of injections for the individual and may result in delayed or missed immunizations. But Trump claims, without scientific evidence, the current combined vaccine could be linked to autism.
Together, there could be a possibility they're quite lethal, and separately, it looks like they are not at all lethal, but just very effective.
ABC's Stephen Portnoy pressed the president on this claim.
Is there any evidence of that?
What I've heard is that there are some people that say it is that way, and I say, well, let's say there's a 5% chance of it. Let's split it up.
The American Academy of Pediatrics is calling the president's changes dangerous, warning of the consequences if kids don't receive the same vaccines they're getting now.
Children are going to end up contracting diseases they could otherwise avoid. Some percent of those are going to end up in an ICU, and some percent of those are going to die.
A member of the FDA Vaccine Advisory Committee notes the timing of these changes could not be worse.
This is happening when we've had the biggest measles epidemic in more than 30 years. We've had 3 people die of measles last year, including 2 healthy little girls in West Texas. You can't be more irresponsible than to cast doubt on a measles-containing vaccine right now.
Despite President Trump's new policy, states have the final say on required vaccines for children. Karen Hua, ABC News, Washington.
Well, more than 100 people have died in Colombia after a 7.4 magnitude earthquake struck the country. Fox News' Ted Linder has more on the search and rescue efforts and how the U.S. plans to help.
A frightening scene in Colombia Monday. People taking cover as a powerful quake rocked the western part of the country. Videos now revealing the devastation in Cali.
When the earthquake started, it was already very strong. It seemed like it was not going to end. Thank God we were fine when it ended, but it was really long and strong. Everything fell. Everything cracked open. In our building, water was falling over. When we came down, the building next to us was totally collapsed.
Colombia's president laying out his plan for the country's next steps.
The first thing is the rescue of the people trapped under the debris. This is the priority, to rescue the people trapped under rubble. This is a call for authorities in the states for all official reports of incidents to be relayed.
Search and rescue efforts are well underway. Army engineers seen here deploying to Cali, which is one of the hardest hit cities. Back in the States, aid is in the works as the U.S. State Department announces a helping hand. In a post to social media, the department said in part, quote, the Trump administration is committing $15.5 million in funding for emergency shelter, food, protection, and earthquake assessments. The earthquake caused major damage to several cities and also parts of neighboring Ecuador and Panama. And according to Colombia's Geological Service, this was the country's strongest earthquake recorded in the 21st century. I'm Ted Linder, Fox News.
New details about a secret mission to protect President Trump. It involved a secret flight out of Turkey, and it also reportedly required the president to hide inside an airport catering truck. ABC's Karen Waugh also has that report.
This morning, stunning details about an elaborate deception to protect President Trump from an Iranian threat. The Washington Post reports when the president departed the NATO summit in Turkey last month, the plane that the world watched him board took off without him.
It was a deft and smart national security decision.
According to the Washington Post, Trump boarded the older Air Force One in front of the cameras, waving from the stairs, and then slipped out a door on the other side of the plane into an airport catering truck, which then drove him to a smaller military jet. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth reportedly flew with him, boarding separately to make the flight look routine. The New York Times, citing a senior U.S. official, confirmed the operation. It all came after a credible Iranian threat against the president, which he spoke about during the summit.
They want to take out the U.S. leader, me. I'm on every list.
The ruse was so complete, reporters on Air Force One had no idea the president was not on board. They were ordered to keep the window shades closed, and the plane's tracking systems were switched off.
It's a tactic and a protective methodology that's used particularly in combat situations or areas of hostility. And it really goes to the secret in the Secret Service, which is often when it does its best work.
Back in 2000, President Clinton secretly flew into Pakistan aboard an unmarked jet, while Air Force One flew as the distraction. In response to the Post story, the White House said there are many enemies of America with their sights on the president, and we use every tool at our disposal to address those threats. Karen Hua, ABC News, Washington.
Well, coming up on the second half of the newscast, we'll take a moment to remember Jackie the Eagle. This and more as Good Morning Maine continues.
In the ICU, I've seen patients being bankrupted by the cost of care, and they're having to travel 3 and 4 hours to receive that care. This didn't just happen. Susan Collins voted to support Donald Trump on the largest Medicaid cut in history. Healthcare is getting even more expensive. People are losing coverage. Labor and delivery centers are closing. Hospitals are closing. We need to tell Susan Collins to stop siding with Donald Trump. We can't afford it.
ABC 7, Fox 22. The place we call home, telling Maine stories wherever you roam. From sunrise shores to forests of pine, hard work, strong hearts, values that shine. From old towns to harbors, back roads to ocean blue. Neighbors helping neighbors in all that we do. Through storms and clear skies, day after day, we're here with the stories that matter in Maine. From mountains to sea, standing strong and true. This is Maine, this is home on ABC 7, Fox 22.
You're watching ABC 7 Bangor.
The U.S. experienced its hottest month ever back in July, and weather experts warned human-caused climate change may only make temperatures surge higher going forward. Sizzling temperatures blanketed the U.S.'s lower 48 states last month, with averages reaching 76.89 degrees Fahrenheit, according to the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. It's the hottest month America has experienced in nearly a century. While surging temperatures were felt across the U.S., the most excessive heat was found in the Mountain West, Southwest, Northern Plains, and Southeast. According to the NOAA, the largest driver of the record heat was nighttime lows, which surpassed the old mark for highest minimums by 0.7 degrees. A number of scientists say that the burning of coal, oil, and gas is partially to blame for the widespread heat, citing how hotter nights are a classic sign of human-caused climate change. This as rising nighttime temperatures can sometimes lead to sleep loss and even death in extreme cases.
The hottest summer prior to this past July was in 1936, the Dust Bowl year. And that was a crazy sort of situation where you put tens of millions of people in motion. You had this great migration because of the drought and the heat that hit the center of the U.S., just a cataclysmic event in U.S. history. If we're exceeding records from the Dust Bowl, that says that we're in deep trouble as far as, hey, this may be one of the coolest years we're going to experience for the rest of our lives.
Well, despite record-setting temperatures, the Trump administration has continued to support the production of fossil fuels, though experts warn global warming may rise the baseline for setting extreme heat records. Now let's turn things right back over to meteorologist Chase Ropanek.
Thank you very much. Your morning weather is brought to you by Tick and Mosquito Guard. We stop ticks and mosquitoes, now serving Washington, Hancock, and Penobscot counties. We are pet safe and have eco-friendly options available. Call today for a free quote at 207-263-3421. All right, as you saw for this morning, Temperatures hanging out in the low to mid 60s here in Bangor after a few showers and thunderstorms passed through the states overnight into this morning. You're looking at mid 60s in Millinocket, but still low 60s surrounding in the northern tier of the state. Same for the southwestern portion of the state as well. Throughout today, we will warm up back into the 80s, looking at low 80s here in Bangor as you head further north. A bit cooler for you with low to mid 70s throughout the northern tier of the state. But yes, we can see a few mid 80s down near Portland in the southwestern portion of the state as well. So for today, the only area that's really going to see that chance for thunderstorms is going to be in the northern tier of the state near Presque Isle. Isolated chances for showers and thunderstorms, nothing severe out there for today. There will be some breezy conditions. The rest of us will stay dry with plenty of sunshine, and we'll see some mostly clear skies heading into tonight, heading into another nice day for your Wednesday. So out there for today, here in Bangor, we should have no issues with storms out there, plenty of sunshine. There will be some breezy conditions. Winds from the west-northwest, gusting near 25 miles per hour. But yes, those highs reach into the low 80s this afternoon.
All right, thanks, Chase. Well, now for the latest on what's happening in Hollywood, here's ABC's Melissa Dawn.
The Jonas Brothers are about to be burning up your TV screens. On Friday, the trio's podcast, Hey Jonas, will begin streaming on Hulu and Disney+. The release coincides with the premiere of Camp Rock 3, which airs on Disney Channel this Thursday.
The last thing my mom said to me was just play drums.
A documentary about Travis Barker also hits Disney streamers this week. Travis Barker, Louder Than Fear, explores the life of the Blink-182 drummer, from the loss of his mother at a young age to a music icon and a life-altering plane crash. This summer, Barker reflected on his journey.
I've seen traumatic experiences either destroy someone or define them. And I think with every loss I had or everything I took to the chin, it made me stronger.
Travis Barker, Louder Than Fear premieres Thursday, August 13th on Hulu and Disney+. Disney is the parent company of Hulu and ABC News.
Hey, it's your brother. We had a problem, and it's led to some things.
We have our first teaser trailer for Paper Tiger. The new thriller follows two brothers, played by Adam Driver and Miles Teller, who find themselves involved with the Russian mafia. Paper Tiger comes to select theaters on November 13th. And happy birthday to Chris Hemsworth, who is 43 today. That's what's happening in Hollywood. Melissa Dawn, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Well, still to come here this morning, Max Sturm with sports. Don't go away.
If you believe in a campaign that's honest...
Honest? Troy Jackson was accused of mortgage fraud for falsifying documents to get a low-interest loan. Jackson billed taxpayers for massive travel expenses, even though his house was only a few miles from the state capitol. Who approved his taxpayer-funded expenses? He did. And Jackson was known for bullying women. Troy Jackson, falsifying documents, ripping off taxpayers, and a bully we can't trust. Pine Tree Results PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
If you've been injured in a motorcycle wreck, call 855-IRON LAW today. Iron Horse Motorcycle Lawyers. We protect our own.
From the heart of Maine, where rugged beauty meets timeless craftsmanship, Richard Henderson & Sons Masonry, taming the outdoors through groundwork, retaining walls and seawalls, building custom fireplaces that become the centerpiece of your home, crafting granite steps and patios that invite you outdoors, designing hardscapes that turn yards into living spaces, built to last, crafted for life. Richard Henderson & Sons Masonry, quality in every stone.
ABC 7 and Fox 22's Jack Webb, named Maine's Sportscaster of the Year by the National Sports Media Association.
Welcome back in, folks. On Friday, the Maine football team held their first scrimmage of the preseason, and on Monday, they were back at it again. So we took I-95 north up to Orono to check in with the team once again. On Friday, Maine came out onto the field and did some individual work. Not on Monday, though. They went right into a real game scenario, 15-minute quarters in all. The defense looked awesome right away. On this play, the QB is going to try to extend the play, but Takai Chisholm chases him down for the would-be sack. No contact on the QBs in practice. We got to keep him safe out there. Here's another good play. Pass caught over the middle, but it's blown up right away by Jeremiah Harris. Next drive, a screen's going to go out to Nick Laughlin, and it's read perfectly by Jeremiah McGill. Really great defense there. Defense as a whole was great. The offense couldn't get anything going until this play. Handoff goes to Aiden Winter. Looks like he's going to get jammed up, but he breaks free and takes off all the way into the red zone. What a run by him, and that's going to set up this scoring play. Michael McMaw takes it in himself for the touchdown. Their season's coming up real soon, so excited for that. All right, let's check in with the Red Sox, who took on the Blue Jays coming off of a series loss to the A's, and folks, it was a weird one. We get almost no action until the 5th inning. That's when Charles McAdoo bombs this one into right field, and it's a homer to make it 1-0 Toronto. 1 inning later, the Blue Jays double that lead when this hit sends George Springer around the bases. Suddenly, it's 2-0, and this is where it gets weird. Top of the 7th, Ceddanne Rafaela hits this one up. It's caught, and the frame's over. Or is it? Watch this. The scoreboard in the building reads 2 outs, but there's only 1. Watch it change live coming up here, back to 1 out before it is eventually caught. And you know what? After 15 minutes and a call to New York later, they determined that it was only 1 out, and Anthony Siegler gets credited with a run to make it 2-1. So strange. Boston, however, could not climb out of this one. They fall 2-1. I've never seen anything like that in baseball or any other sport for that matter. While we're talking about the Sox, though, it's time to honor World Series champion Matt Barnes, who just announced his retirement from baseball over the weekend. Barnes had an 11-year career in the MLB, and on Sunday, he decided to hang up the jersey. The pitcher played his first 9 seasons with the Boston Red Sox. It was a big piece of that 2018 World Series run. In fact, his performance in the postseason that year was quite incredible. In 10 total innings, Barnes posted a 1.04 ERA, allowed just 1 run, and then finished with a 2-0 postseason record, including earning the victory in Game 1 of the World Series. Barnes moved on from Boston in 2023 and closed out his career with 1-year stints in Miami and Washington. We are just under a month away from the start of the NFL season, and this week, the Patriots locked down one of their top offensive weapons. That's right, Patriots tight end Hunter Henry put pen to paper on Monday and inked a 2-year extension worth a base value of $16 million. Now, that can go up all the way to $20 million with incentives. The pass-catching tight end was acquired by the Pats in 2021 after playing with the Los Angeles Chargers, and he played a big role in that Patriots run to the Super Bowl last year. Last year, Henry recorded 60 receptions for 768 yards, 7 touchdowns, and his total yardage might not show his true impact, but that's almost 13 yards per catch when you do the math. He is a quality downfield target who will get to and beyond the sticks. Additionally, he's a fantastic red zone threat. Again, 7 scores last season, 4 of them came from within the red zone. Drake May will have other pass-catching options like A.J. Brown and Romeo Doubs this year, but re-signing the veteran tight end was a great move and a crucial one for the offense. I'm still hung up about the Bills not getting him. I'm a Bills fan. I wanted him back in 2021. Lastly, folks, if you're in the Portland area, you may want to attend the Sea Dogs game on Wednesday. The Sea Dogs announced on Monday that the first 1,000 fans to come through the gates for Wednesday's game versus the Binghamton Rumble Ponies will receive an exclusive Cooper Flagg bobblehead. Now, the bobblehead is, of course, Cooper Flagg, but he is wearing a Maine uniform with his iconic number 32 on it. The gates will open at 4:30 p.m., so if you're a Flag fan in the area with nothing to do, you may want to stop by on Wednesday. That's all the time we have for sports. We'll be right back after the break.
The Farmer's Table in Corinna brings you outstanding breakfasts, lunches, and dinners made from farm-grown fresh ingredients. Dinner specials are available every day. Enjoy our homemade desserts, and above all, bring your appetite to the Farmer's Table in Corinna.
30 years living that Washington, D.C. lifestyle. That'll change a person. Getting rich from insider stock trading should be illegal. But Susan Collins doesn't think so. Susan Collins wants to keep it so senators can play the stock market, make millions of dollars doing it. Why we struggle to pay for gas, groceries, health insurance, the basics. For them to get all that money, why we're paying more, it's not right. It's not right. Tell Susan Collins to stop this congressional stock trade.
Got old metal and junk cars? Turn that clutter into cash at Daddy and Daughters. We make recycling easy, fast, and fair. From Skowhegan to Dover Foxcroft, from Troy to Lee, you can trust our certified scales and friendly service, offering top prices for junk vehicles in Maine. Whether you drop off or we pick up, Daddy and Daughters covers central and eastern Maine. Come see us at one of our 4 locations and watch your scrap pay off. Daddy and Daughters turn scrap into cash. The Farmer's Table in Corinna brings you outstanding breakfasts, lunches, and dinners made from farm-grown fresh ingredients. Dinner specials are available every day. Enjoy our homemade desserts, and above all, bring your appetite to the Farmer's Table in Corinna.
Welcome back, everyone. Well, it's now a bittersweet moment in the cycle of life, especially in the animal world. Jackie, the famous Big Bear bald eagle, the wind beneath so many of her followers' wings, has passed away at the age of 14 after a brave health battle.
This morning, people are remembering the matriarch of perhaps the most famous eagle family in the world. Over the past few years, Jackie, Shadow, and their annually expanding family have attracted millions to the live cameras run by a nonprofit called Friends of Big Bear Valley. But Monday morning, Friends of Big Bear Valley and the Ojai Raptor Center shared that after weeks of undergoing treatment for an illness, Jackie has died at the age of 14.
It's been a tough day. It's been hard for our team. Lots of tears, lots of memories.
Late last night, I spoke with Jenny Voisart, a spokesperson for Friends of Big Bear Valley, who says their website nearly crashed yesterday with all of the outpouring of love for Jackie. Since early 2025, the birth of eaglets like Sunny and Gizmo has led to a huge wave of attention being brought to Jackie and Shadow's home in California.
I put up some flyers around some different businesses.
So earlier this year, when the Eagles' hunting ground was under threat to be turned into luxury homes by a developer, schools like John Baldwin Elementary started helping to raise the necessary $10 million by July 31st to save that land.
It will never be developed on. And we were only able to do that by the sheer power and love of all the people that watch Jackie and Shadow and care about them.
But Jenny said she can't help but think right now of the founder of the live cam, Sandy Steers, who passed away earlier this year. Sandy had been following Jackie since she was born almost a decade and a half ago. And here's what she told me last March about what it was like seeing Jackie and Shadow soar to worldwide fame.
What I'm most thrilled about is people connecting with nature.
Of course, Jenny says she keeps getting asked what Shadow is going to do. And as she told me, nesting season is not usually until late fall. So we won't really know if this 12-year-old is going to move on and where for quite a while. In New York, for ABC News, I'm Danny New.
Well, now here's meteorologist Chase Ropanek with our full weather forecast.
Thank you very much. Your main weather this morning is also brought to you by Tick and Mosquito Guard. We stop ticks and mosquitoes, now serving Washington, Hancock, and Penobscot counties. We are pet safe and have eco-friendly options available. Call today for a free quote at 207-263-3421. All right, temperatures hanging out in the low to mid 60s this morning after a cold front passed through overnight. We still have a chance for a few more storms to get through for today. That's mainly in the northern tier of the states where your lows are in the low 60s in our Presque Isle and Holton. A lot of us hanging out in those low to mid 60s this morning. So as we get into today, temperatures will be right back near average. Average high 80 degrees, looking at 81 for today. Same for Wednesday and the Thursday, hanging out just near average. We'll have a bit of a cooler day Friday, mid 70s then, thanks to showers and thunderstorms. But it looks like we'll be right back near average into the weekend, a bit cooler into the beginning of the work week as well on Monday. So winds out there for today. Now that cold front has passed, we'll see winds gusting near 20 to 25 miles per hour out there this afternoon. Winds will lighten up a bit for tonight and stay pretty light into your Wednesday. There is a chance for a little bit more low pressure in the area. There'll definitely be low pressure passing to our south. We can see a few more storms possible, bringing some breezy conditions into Wednesday afternoon as well. But for today, the chance for storms staying in the northern tier of the state near the Millinocket region, the Presque Isle, over near Clayton Lake as well. Again, those are isolated showers and thunderstorms. No big issue, though. They may chase you inside for about 10 to 20 minutes, but otherwise you'll be just fine. Plenty of sunshine for the rest of us for today. Clear skies tonight, but here we are for tomorrow. This is just one model run that shows this. There's plenty of others that can show that tomorrow could be a little bit more dry, but again, low pressure will be passing to the south. This will be a boundary in the area for tomorrow that can bring that chance for showers and thunderstorms, but also the storms may not fire also. So keep that in mind. We'll keep an eye on this for your Wednesday. There can be a few more storms possibly that continue into your Wednesday night, but otherwise, better chances for showers and thunderstorms Thursday and the Friday as that low pressure gets a bit closer. So for today, the only chance for a few storms are going to be staying to the north. Partly cloudy otherwise, highs in the low 80s. Winds a little bit breezy out there from the northwest, but clear skies tonight. Winds will lighten up. Lows will be back in the mid to upper 50s after a few nights in the 60s. So for tomorrow, the highs will be right back near average, near 80. We will have that chance for a few thunderstorms possible. Will they fire off that boundary? We'll have to keep an eye on that. It's otherwise partly cloudy with winds. Still a little breezy from the west, gusting near 25 miles per hour. So taking a look at your extended forecast, we do have slight chances for showers and thunderstorms today, mainly to the north, and that does exist for tomorrow as well, but better chances Thursday and the Friday as that low pressure gets closer. Highs near 80 Friday. They take a dip, near 80 Thursday. They take a dip Friday into the mid 70s. And here comes that high pressure Saturday. Plenty of sunshine, highs back near 80 degrees.
Your internet experience feels different, ultra reliable, lightning fast. With Fidium 100% fiber, everything you do online works exactly like it should.
Night, bud. Zach, go to bed.
So is cable internet still slowing you down? Enough already. Fiber up to Fidium. Get a 2 gig plan for only $65 a month at FidiumFiber.com.
I went to work in the woods after high school. The harder we worked, the more that the companies took from us. That's why we organized. We made them listen. People are doing everything they can right and still cannot get ahead. Susan Collins keeps telling us everything is just fine. Who has she served? She has served Donald Trump. She has served the billionaires. She has served herself. We are getting screwed, and I'm running to change that.
Government that Works PAC's responsible for the content of this ad.
Imagine stepping onto your brand new deck, enjoying all the benefits of your expanded outdoor living space. Hammond Lumber Company can help turn that vision into reality. Visit any of Hammond's expansive showrooms and explore a world of possibilities. The timeless beauty of wood, the resilience of composite or affordable durable PVC. Railing options from traditional wood to sleek aluminum and contemporary cable railing. On-site consultation and delivery are available. Get started on your new deck when you bring your vision to Hammond Lumber Company.
Situated in Jonesboro on the coast of Maine lies Barren View Golf Course, a true links course that's a treat for golfers of all skill levels. We feature a driving range, putting green, practice sand trap, pro shop, and snack bar. Open 7 days a week. Please call ahead for a tee time.
Wednesday, big stars try to win big money for charity.
What's your gut instinct?
We don't know.
And don't miss an ending that no one saw coming.
We're going for $1 million.
The Emmy-winning Millionaire, Wednesday on ABC.
Now to a new discovery under the sea. New video shows the discovery of an ancient shipwreck off the coast of Sicily. The wreckage, believed to be more than 2,000 years old, was discovered by Italian divers about 150 feet underwater. Italy's Minister of Culture calls the breakthrough, quote, one of the most important underwater discoveries of recent years. Archaeologists say it could provide a rare snapshot of the Roman-era trade dating back to the 1st and 2nd centuries. Very cool. Well, meanwhile, 2 people have just finished the hike of a lifetime. 10-year-old Liam Holland and his father Dola set out on the Appalachian Trail on February 13th and ended at the top of Katahdin on August 4th. They covered more than 2,000 miles in 172 days. The 2 say that it was an incredible experience.
When I get older, like when I graduate high school, I doubt I'm going to go on another experience like this with my dad.
We took advantage of it while we could. You know, we don't know whatever comes in, what will happen in life, whether we could do it later in life. So we really just decided, let's just do it now.
Well, both say they just kept walking in good weather and in bad weather. They say it feels really good to finally reach their goal. And congratulations to both of them. That is a very hard feat. Well, that's all the time that we have left for this hour, but you can join us for the second hour of Good Morning Maine. That's next on Fox 22. Have a great day, everyone.
He broke into my room.
No, he broke into his own house because you were 60 days late in paying rent.
A renter is sent packing.
They were literally throwing my things in boxes and breaking them.
Why hadn't you paid rent?
I was just in between jobs at the time.
And then gets a taste of justice.
You eat the steak and you don't pay for it. You understand where I'm going, don't you? Mm-hmm. Pay your rent.
Next, Judge Judy.
Tuesday at 5, only on ABC 7.
The fun never stops at Wheel.
You got it! It's a close! And the crowd goes wild.
A truly historic bonus round on Wheel of Fortune. Somebody could win $500,000. Where are you going?
To pass out?
Exciting giveaways ahead, like fabulous vacations, and let's manifest another $1 million winner.
You're a millionaire!
Oh my God!
Weekdays at 7 on ABC 7.
Last season on Jeopardy!
How is anybody ever going to beat this guy?
A shocking end to a streak for the ages.
I did not expect to win.
Now the stage is set. Who will step in and light it up? New players.
It is very fun.
Bigger stakes.
I'm excited already.
And a chance to shine.
What a great competition.
The all-new season of Jeopardy!
Yes, finally.
RSV can be dangerous for infants and some young children and is the leading cause of infant hospitalization in the U.S. So what can you do? The Centers for Disease Control recommends protecting your baby from getting very sick by getting an RSV immunization for infants and some older babies, or even an RSV vaccine given to the mother during pregnancy, which could make a shot for an infant unnecessary. Protect your baby today. This message brought to you by the Maine CDC, this station, and the Maine Association of Broadcasters.
You're watching ABC 7 Bangor.
Good morning, America. All right, dangerous storms, the search for earthquake survivors, new vaccine confusion for parents, and Christmas
Morning Maine.
Hello everyone. Today on Good Morning Maine, firefighters are responding to a report following new federal findings about the Robbins lumber mill fire and explosion. Plus, there have been multiple shark sightings off the coast of Maine, one directly related to a Scarborough lifeguard. We'll explain coming up. And a couple is walking America and just passed through Maine. We'll bring you their story as well. Good morning and welcome to Good Morning Maine. I'm Janessa Bishop. Craig Colson is off for the day. We'll have those stories and much more coming up. And as always, we thank you for joining us. Now for the weather today, we may have some light rain this morning, but that should clear out and it should be a nice day today. Let's start off by getting a first look at our forecast. Chase Ropanek joins us now.
Thank you very much. Your morning weather is brought to you by Ticket